10 money rules nobody taught you, but you desperately need to know. Introduction. The truth about money that no one teaches. You can graduate from a top school, land a great job, and still feel lost financially. Why? Because the real money rules, the ones that change your life, are not written in textbooks. They are learned the hard way in the real world, or from those who have walked the path before you. If you have ever wondered why you are working harder but not getting ahead, this guide is for you. Let's dive in. 1. Income is just the starting line, not the finish line. There is a popular lie that says, if I just made more money, all my problems would disappear. That is false, because no matter how much you earn, you can still end up broke if you do not know how to manage, save, and invest wisely. Story number 1. The doctor who was broke. Dr. Emily Carter, a successful orthopedic surgeon, was making over $350,000 a year by the time she turned 33. On paper, she looked like she had it all: a luxury apartment in San Diego, a leased BMW, and regular trips to Europe. But one night, while reviewing her finances, she realized something horrifying. She had only $8,200 in her savings account, over $180,000 in student loans, and $30,000 in credit card debt. She was one missed paycheck away from crisis. It was a wake-up call. Emily began tracking every dollar, cut back on unnecessary expenses, sold her BMW for a used Honda, and hired a financial advisor. In 5 years, she built a net worth of over $400,000, not because she earned more, but because she kept more. Story number 2. The janitor who retired a millionaire. Ronald Redd was a Vermont janitor and gas station attendant who never made more than $40,000 in a year. He lived frugally, wore old clothes, and rarely went out to eat. But he had one powerful habit. He invested a portion of every paycheck into dividend-paying stocks and held them for decades. When he died in 2014, he shocked his entire community by leaving behind an estate worth over $8 million. He donated $1.2 million to his local library and another $4.8 million to the hospital that had cared for him. His wealth was not in his income. It was in his consistency. Key takeaway: wealth is not about how much you make. It is about how much you keep and grow. 2. No one is coming to rescue you financially. It is easy to fall into the trap of waiting for a raise, for a government bailout, for a partner to share expenses, or for the perfect financial planner to magically fix your life. But here is the hard truth: no one is coming. Your financial future is in your hands, and always has been. Story number 1. The college dropout who took control. Jake Morales dropped out of college at 21 with $14,000 in credit card debt and no clear plan. He was delivering pizzas and living in his mom's basement. For a while, he blamed everyone: the economy, his professors, even his parents. Then one day, while scrolling YouTube, he stumbled on a video titled, "No one's coming to save you, so save yourself." That night, everything changed. Jake wrote down a list of skills he could learn online. He started with digital marketing, watched free videos, took low-cost courses, and practiced building websites for small businesses in his town. Fast forward 6 years, Jake now runs a digital marketing agency that brings in over $300,000 a year. He is completely debt-free. No one came to save him. He became his own savior. Story number 2. The single mom who became a real estate investor. After her divorce, Melissa Nguyen had $2,000 in savings and 2 young kids. Her ex-husband had walked away from all financial support. Melissa had no college degree, but she had a fierce determination not to let her children grow up in poverty. She worked 2 jobs while reading every book she could find about real estate investing. On weekends, she took her kids to open houses and studied the market. Within 18 months, she bought her first duplex with an FHA loan and rented half of it out. Today, Melissa owns 12 rental units and teaches other single moms how to build wealth. Her motto: "No one is coming. That means it's my turn to lead." Key takeaway: you are your own best shot at financial freedom. Stop waiting. Start building. 3. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Before you pour money into stocks, crypto, or real estate, ask this: have I invested in the one asset that will pay me forever? That asset is you, your skills, your mindset, your knowledge. Story number 1. The high school dropout who made millions. Terrell Johnson dropped out of high school at 17. He worked at a car wash for $8 an hour and thought that was all life had for him, until one day, a customer gave him a used copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book changed his life. Terrell started reading everything he could on personal finance, sales, and entrepreneurship. He taught himself how to flip used phones online, then moved into wholesaling real estate. By 28, he owned 4 properties, ran a successful consulting business, and earned more in a month than he used to make in a year. Story number 2. The nurse who became a tech leader. Angela Lee was a registered nurse for 11 years, but always felt like she had more to offer. She took night classes in computer science while working full-time, often studying until 2 a.m. while her kids slept. 3 years later, she transitioned into health tech, landed a job as a product manager, and tripled her income. She always says, "Every course I took was a seed, and now I'm harvesting the fruit." Key takeaway: the highest ROI doesn't come from Wall Street. It comes from your own growth. 4. If you don't understand the game, you'll be played. The financial system is complex and often rigged against those who do not understand it. Fees, interest rates, taxes, inflation, these are not just numbers. They are traps for the uninformed. Story number 1. The man who didn't read the fine print. Kevin signed up for a zero-interest credit card and used it to fund a vacation to Greece. What he didn't realize was that the 0% rate only lasted 6 months. After that, it jumped to 24.9%. By the time he paid it off, his $3,000 trip had cost him over $4,700. Story number 2. The woman who outsmarted the system. Lauren did the opposite. She spent 6 months learning how to legally reduce her tax burden. She opened a retirement savings account for self-employed people, called a solo 401k, started a side business, tracked all her deductions, and even used depreciation from a rental property to offset income. That year, she made $85,000, but only paid taxes on $49,000. Key takeaway: if you don't take time to learn the rules of money, you'll keep paying the price. 5. The people around you can make or break your bank account. Money habits are contagious. If your closest friends are always broke, always spending, or always complaining, you will start doing the same. Story number 1. The friend who dragged him down. Marcus had a dream to start a landscaping business, but his best friend Dave always mocked him. "You're not smart enough for that. Just get a regular job." For years, Marcus stayed small, mowing lawns on weekends while working a boring office job. It wasn't until he cut off toxic friendships and joined a local entrepreneurs group that he finally found people who believed in him. Today, Marcus's business employs 12 people and generates over $700,000 annually. Story number 2. The power of one good mentor. When Alina moved to a new city, she joined a co-working space. There, she met a woman named Joyce who ran a successful consulting firm. Joyce took Alina under her wing, taught her how to price her services, market herself, and think like a business owner. Within a year, Alina went from making $35,000 to over $120,000. Key takeaway: your net worth is deeply influenced by your network. Choose wisely. 6. Frugality alone won't make you rich. You have to play offense too. Cutting costs is important, but you can only save so much. There's a limit to how little you can spend, but no limit to how much you can earn. Story number 1, the couple who only saved. Brian and Rachel lived extremely frugally. They cut coupons, lived in a tiny apartment, never traveled, and drove a 20-year-old car. After 10 years, they had managed to save $100,000, but felt exhausted and stuck. Then they shifted gears. Brian started a side hustle in photography. Rachel sold handmade jewelry online. Within 2 years, their combined income doubled, and they started investing in rental properties. Frugality helped them survive. Offense helped them thrive. Story number 2, the gym owner who scaled up. Troy owned a small fitness studio and made decent money, until the pandemic hit. Instead of cutting back and waiting for things to return to normal, he built an online training program, launched a fitness app, and partnered with influencers. His revenue exploded. Today, he reaches over 50,000 customers a year from all over the world. Key takeaway: don't just play defense with your money. Go out and build wealth on offense. 7. Learn the 70-20-10 rule and stick to it. Here's a simple formula that works. 70% for living, needs and wants, 20% for saving and investing, 10% for giving. Story number 1, the teacher who found balance. Jasmine was a middle school teacher earning $52,000 a year. She used to live paycheck to paycheck until she adopted the 70-20-10 rule. She automated her savings, opened a Roth IRA, and gave 10% to causes she cared about. For the first time, she felt both responsible and generous. 5 years later, she had over $65,000 invested and a deep sense of purpose. Story number 2, the entrepreneur who went too far. Chad was obsessed with saving. He lived on 20% of his income and invested everything else. But he neglected his health, skipped family vacations, and often felt isolated. Eventually, he realized that money should be a tool for joy, not just accumulation. He adjusted to a 70-20-10 approach and found peace, not just profit. Key takeaway: a balanced plan builds wealth and joy. Don't just live for later. Live wisely now. 8. Money is a magnifier, not a cure. Money doesn't fix your problems, it reveals them. If you're careless with $1,000, you'll be reckless with 100,000. If you're anxious when broke, you might be paranoid when rich. Story number 1, the lottery winner who lost it all. Jason won $12 million in the state lottery. Within 5 years, it was gone. He bought cars, gave out loans to friends, started 3 businesses he knew nothing about, and ignored tax advice. By the end, he was living in a small apartment and working at a hardware store. The money didn't ruin him. It just exposed who he already was. Story number 2, the quiet wealth of Maria. Maria was never flashy. She worked as a librarian for 35 years, lived in the same modest house, and wore the same wristwatch for decades. When she passed away, it shocked everyone to learn she had a net worth of over $2 million, all saved and invested patiently. Money didn't change Maria. It just amplified her wisdom and discipline. Key takeaway: if you want to be a better rich person, be a better poor one first. 9. You'll work hard either way. Choose where that hard work leads. There's no such thing as easy. Struggling to pay rent is hard. Building a business is hard. Working a job you hate is hard. So is learning a new skill at night. Story number 1, the woman who waited too long. Claire spent 20 years working at a job she disliked. Every day she told herself, "I'll quit when things get better." They never did. When she was 53, her company laid her off. She had no savings, no side skills, and no backup plan. She worked at a grocery store just to survive. Story number 2, the man who chose his hard early. Isaiah worked long nights building a tech startup while holding a full-time job. He missed parties, skipped vacations, and lived frugally for years. But by 32, he sold his company and became financially free. Now he works because he wants to, not because he has to. Key takeaway: you're going to work hard in life. Make sure it leads somewhere you actually want to go. 10. Most financial breakthroughs are boring and unsexy. Success in money isn't built on lottery tickets or flashy moves. It's built on showing up every day, doing the small things right, and being patient. Story number 1. The couple who got rich slowly. Alex and Jenna weren't geniuses. They didn't start a business. They didn't invent anything. But for 25 years, they maxed out their retirement accounts, avoided debt, drove used cars, and lived below their means. When they retired at 58, they had over $2.4 million. No viral story, no drama, just consistency. Story number 2. The boring strategy that wins. Derek invested $500 a month into index funds starting at age 22. He never stopped, even when the market dipped or his friends chased crypto and meme stocks. By 45, he had over $600,000 and a calm confidence that most people envy. Key takeaway: the path to wealth isn't hidden. It's just often ignored because it's not exciting enough. Conclusion: money doesn't solve everything, but it changes everything. Money won't make you happy, but it will give you choices. It will give you freedom. It will give you time. It will let you help people you love. Most importantly, it will amplify who you are. So don't chase money just to impress others. Chase it to become more of who you were meant to be. Because at the end of the day, money is not the goal. Freedom is.